So in the last exercise, I have given 4 test cases for automate as an exercise, right? So one is test login with valid password, test login with invalid password, test login with empty password, test login with password that has special characters. So these are the different uh, test cases that I have given as an exercise, right? So I'll explain how I written this code. So I'll explain one or two test cases, and the remaining test cases looks very similar to the same. Okay. So let's start with the first one. Test login with valid password. So first I'm opening the browser, and then in the Chrome browser I'm loading the URL. Okay, and I've given implicit wait as 30 seconds, and then I'm clicking on the first. I'm finding the login text. Okay, let me show you the application also so that you will clearly understand. So here I'm clicking on the login link. So if I have to click on any element, first I need to find the element and then perform the action. Finding the element and performing the action, I call it as fundamentals of any automation technology. So first I'm finding the login link and then I'm clicking on it. Okay, so once I click on the login link, immediately we can see a text field called email address or username. Okay, so I'm finding that element and then entering the value. So remember, here I am finding the element by using the explicit weight. Explicit weight. So the reason is, even though sometimes we find the element is not ready for entering the text, or the element is not ready for clicking on that element, or sometimes the element is not ready to select. So in that situation, I suggest to use explicit weight. So in this explicit weight, so find the element until it is visible. Visibility of element located. You return the element only it is found and it is visible. Till then you wait. Wait for the element until it is found and then until it is visible. So when you want to wait for the element to be found and element to be visible completely to be visible. Okay, if you want to wait for certain condition, then you have to use explicit wait. Okay, so I use this explicit wait because I could, when I use driver.find element, I was able to find the element, but while entering the text it is giving lot of troubles. It is unable to enter the text. So in that case we have to use explicit wait. Okay, so once you, whether you use implicit wait or explicit wait doesn't matter, you will be always able to find the element. Once you find the element, enter the username. Okay, and then once you enter the username, then click on the continue and then enter the password. So here you can see, find the continue button and click on that and find the password text field and enter the password, and then you click on the login button. You click on the login button. Okay, as I said, valid password. Login with valid password. I have given the valid username and valid password, so it must allow us to log in. Okay, so here you can see that it is allowed us to log in. So that can we make sure the test is passed, and how do we make sure the login is successful? To make sure the login is successful, I need to ensure that I'm in the dashboard page. So this is the dashboard page. To ensure that I'm in the dashboard page, you can assert any element. Okay, so in my test case, I am asserting my site is available or not. If the my site is available, it means that it is come to the dashboard page. It means that the login is successful. Okay, so for that what I'm doing is I'm finding the my site element. Okay, you can say instead of message element, you can say my site text. I'm finding the my site text element is available. Okay, so I'm getting the my site text element. I'm getting that element, and out of that element I'm getting the text. From that element I'm getting the text. Okay, and then I'm comparing with the actual message. So I should get my site, and the expected is my site. Okay, so this is how I'm ensuring the login is successful. And in the second test case, test login with invalid password. It's the same steps. So open the browser, load the URL, click on login, enter username, and then enter password. Okay, so here invalid password ABCD123, that's an invalid password. And then the moment I enter the invalid password and clicked on the login button, it will display an error message. Okay, so let me show you that. ABCD123, right? ABCD123, you can see here. Okay. The moment I click on login button, it will show an error message. Oops, that's not a right password. Please try again. Okay. So I'm getting that error message element. Out of that error message element, I'm getting the text. Okay, and then I'm validating the text. So this is the XPath for that error message. The error message can be anything. Okay, with this XPath you can able to find out that error message. So Command F in Mac OS, Control F in Windows to find out the XPath. Okay, so this is the XPath I'm pasting here. Can you see that? So this is the span that I'm locating. Okay, so this is the element that I'm locating. Out of this element, when I say dot text, it will return the text of that element. Okay, I'm getting out of the text. From that element I'm getting the text, and then I'm validating. So I'm validating the actual message that is displayed on the website, and this is the expected message. This is what I'm expecting. If there is any change in the actual and expected, obviously the test will fail. Similarly, login with empty password. So here everything is same. Okay, whatever I have given in the invalid password, everything is same except that I'm giving the empty password. In the send case, you can see I didn't given anything, empty password. Okay, and the next test case is password that has special characters. Okay, again everything is same. The only difference is in the password field I am giving special characters. Okay, so when I give the special characters, oops, that's not the right password, please try again. Okay, that's a expected message. Okay, so when I give the empty password, the expected message was don't forget to enter your password. So this expected message must match with the actual message that is displayed on the website, because this error message actual I'm getting it from the website, the real website. Okay, yeah, so these are the different test cases, 4 test cases that I have created. Let me run all these 4 test cases. So this is about login successful. Yeah, it's pretty fast. Okay, so all 4 are passed. Okay, so let's talk about the, okay, yeah, So now we have written all the 4 different test cases. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to improvise this code, or I'm going to optimize this code to avoid duplicate code, or to make it more easily readable. Okay. So if you look at this code, opening the browser, loading the URL, and adding a implicit weight, and finding the login link, and clicking on the login link. Okay. So this piece of code is absolutely 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This 5 lines of code is absolutely same in all these places, all the 4 test cases. Okay. And at the end of every test, I'm also closing the browser, driver.quit. Okay, you can see driver.quit at the end of every test. So why can't I move this same piece of code which is used for every test, and then call that code? For doing that in PyTest, so there is a approach called PyTest Fixture. Okay, so using that PyTest Fixture, you can able to call a piece of code before and after every test. Okay, so let's design that code definition. So setup, tear down. So setup is nothing but the code which is required before running your test. Tear down is nothing but the code that's supposed to be executed after running your test. Okay, so the name can be anything. You can give a before or after, or any name. It doesn't matter, just a name. Okay, just a method name. So generally we use setup method, the name of the method as setup, that tells that okay, this is the code which is going to be run for every test method before the test method, and tear down is basically the code which is going to be run after every test method. Okay, so but the name can be anything. So this is the code that I want to execute before running any of the test. Okay, so remove this print statement also, that is not required. So whatever the code that I copied in the setup tear down, I am removing it from here. Okay, but I need to to find the element, I need the driver variable. So the driver variable is local to this method. I need to make this driver variable as global, so that that variable can be used across the entire file. Okay, and this is the code which I want to execute before every test. What I'm doing here, I'm opening the browser, I'm loading the URL, adding an implicit weight, finding the login link, and then clicking on the login link. So without doing that, I shouldn't be able to enter the username and password and then log in, right? So this is the prerequisite, and this code must be executed before every test. At the end of the test, I'm closing the browser, right? In everywhere, I'm closing the browser. So this piece of code I have to execute at the end of every test. Okay, for that, what you can do is there is a keyword called yield. Okay, so you can say driver.quit. So this piece of code will be executed before every test method, and after yield, whatever the code is available, that will be executed after every test. Okay, so now run the same code again. One second. Okay. So now we also have to add the PyTest fixture. I told you in the very beginning, right? Using the PyTest fixture, you can able to execute a piece of code, before and after every test. Okay, so let's use PyTest dot fixture. So there is an attribute called auto use, and you have to make it true. Okay, now run this code. So it's executing as usual, as earlier, without any problem. Okay.